Interestingly, I'm going to take a minute to talk about station notebooks. I first heard about the idea from Ward Silva at a Western Washington DX Club meeting about the year 2000. He was talking about that every amateur ought to have a notebook for their station, and I thought it was an interesting idea, and so I took some notes from that. And you know, what you're trying to do is record things about your station, things about your equipment, be able to notice if you've had changes, for example, in your antenna or your noise level or something like that. And it also gives you a way to kind of tell if you tried experiments and they didn't work and you have a record of it. So I'd like to kind of talk about, I personally like the idea of having two binders. As you can see from the picture, one is a station notebook, and for example, you usually are going to have a list of all your equipment, and you know, you would share the manufacturer, the serial number, of where you purchased it, what you purchased it for, where the manuals are located, and where the boxes, if you kept the boxes. And that's going to be extremely valuable if you ever become a silent key to whoever has to dispose of your equipment, to know where everything is. You often have a block diagram showing how things are connected, because some of our stations get pretty complex, and somebody was coming in, or you may even forget yourself how you've connected it all. Antenna descriptions, you know, what they are, what manufacturer, what they're tuned for. If you have a lot of coax runs, how you label your coax so that you know what coax goes to what antenna and what radio. And then you usually can record your SWR for each band for each antenna. And you know, I like to do mine at least every 3 months just to see if they've changed. If you have memory settings or other variables, like maybe you have a setup you use for RTTY and a setup you use for sideband, well, if you keep your settings, keep track of them. Results of any tests or experiments you do. Noise level on the band, that shows you if your noise level is changing by band or mode. And then just any equipment changes you make or additions, and what your maintenance schedule is like. You know, when do you check your tower? When do you check your connectors? Those kind of things. So all of those can go in one notebook. And then, for example, in my station notebook right now, this is the index. I just pulled the index out. And it's things I want to refer to real quickly, like, for example, you know, what are my serial port settings? It has my complete inventory in it. It also, on my coax, has what brand of coax I've used for each run and what the velocity factor is. And then I keep track of each antenna, what the SWR is at different frequencies across the band. Then I also have some quick sheets for my radios, just to remind me, you know, what plugins are what knobs are for what, and then on my audio. So that's kind of the, if you will, the equipment side of it. The second notebook is what I call reference and resource, and this is where I do keep a couple of things that are the same, but time conversion charts, metric conversion charts, the band plans, digital frequencies by mode. I keep track of, you know, what states I still need on any band, if I need any, on DX for each band. You know, what do I need for on 80 meters sideband, on 80 meters digital. I keep a DX prefixes, ARL US abbreviations for some contests you use them. I keep maps of the CQ zones for contests that are going to use that. The contest this weekend, I have maps for the ITU zones. And then, because I'm not a great CW operator, I'm not a CW operator at all, but I do keep a list of abbreviations, because some people, even on sideband, occasionally share a CW abbreviation and Q codes. And then I update my logbook of the world status periodically. And then I have a section just hams I know. And the point I was making is everybody's notebook would be different, but if you don't write it down, a year from now, you may not remember exactly what you did and why. If you made changes, you may not remember, was it better or worse? So I just wanted to mention, you might think about running, creating a notebook or two for your shack